Hi, everyone. We are starting our class, Neurographica of Relationship. I have AB with me, and I hope somebody else will join. But anyway, the recording will be presented in the group Neurographica America's English. So please share your work with us over there. I'm going to share my work as well. This way we have two-way communication. It's much easier to communicate that way. I want to welcome you. We are continuing with our spring semester. Just give me 1 second. I need to share just to welcome you to our spring semester. We are continuing with our classes, free classes, paid classes. We welcome you to our school. It's the first semester. We just opened up and we plan on continuing with our programs. We're working right now on the summer program. And we're going to continue every season. We're going to be presenting something new to you. And your feedback is very important to us, how you feel about the program, your feedback about teachers. And of course, we want to see your work. That's why we're basically recording all the videos, just to make sure that everything what we do is presented, and everyone in the world, whoever speaks English, is able to see our recordings and draw with us. And your feedback is very important to us. So we know what you are interested in. We know how you feel about our classes. It is really, really important. So let me just go back to the screen. I see that I have chat. Let me see. Oh, hello from Vienna. Hi, Claudia. How are you? I see Alona. Hi, Alona. How are you? I think I see Natasha. Natasha, hi. How are you? I'm going to mute all of you guys. So excellent. Glad to hear that. I'm going to mute all of you so we could continue. For some reason, something wrong with my features. I used to be able to mute all at once, but now it seems like this feature, for some reason, I don't know what happened. I would need to contact support on that. It happened also in my previous class, so I wasn't sure what's going on, but apparently I restarted and still see the same problem. So what I'm going to ask you to mute yourself so we could continue with the recording while I'm trying to figure out. We're not going to waste our time with the class because we really want to move on. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to transfer to Claudia. Hi. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to transfer to my drawing board so we can continue, and then I open up for questions and answers. All right. I hope this format works for you guys. So let me just switch the screen. I'm going to bring my camera up. All right. All right. Okay. Hope everyone can see it. Let me increase some light. Just increase that a little bit. All right. So what we're going to be working today on Neurographica of relationships, or how to improve relationship for Neurographica. I have done one class in Russian just before this class. I've introduced everyone to a pretty complex algorithm where I included several components, not just Neurographic of relationship, but also I've included components that are coming from our goals. I've included resources and so forth. I think it's much more interesting to see more complex algorithms than just go through the simple ones. Claudia, you're saying to the full screen mode? I think I am. Let me see. Let me just see what's going on here. It showed up. Let me do mute all. Yes. And then, I don't know, for some reason today it's just, oh, really, only a quarter I have. That's not good. Okay, it's even less than quarter. That's interesting. I don't know. Really don't know what happened here. I can move on. You know, something is really not, something is not working. You can only see other participants. Interesting. That's exactly what's been going on, and I'm not really sure. It's a Zoom issue, I guess. And what we could do, I can stop it and actually re-enter. Should not be the case though. It should not affect. Does everyone else have the same problem that you see only half of the screen? Can you type for me? Guys, can you type? Alona, Natasha, can you type? If you see only, I'm fine, all is good. So Claudia, something on your end, apparently. In the Russian class, I had somebody else who's been also struggling with this today. Not with this particular problem, but mostly with some other, she was not able to hear. Alona is good, so what it tells me then, it must be something on your side that's preventing. So why don't we continue then? I don't know, maybe then you will be able, me neither. It's just so weird. I have no idea. Zoom sometimes is not really user-friendly. I've had several issues in the past as well, so I'm not really sure. Natasha, can you type for me if you can see the full screen? Can you see my hand? Can you see a paper on the table? Okay, so let's just continue. Recording is going to be available. I don't know what happened. I would need to, like, Alona can see it, Gloria cannot. So there's something with settings. I don't know. But I'm going to continue with the class. Recording is going to be available, so you should be able to watch in the recording if anything. And meanwhile, I would need to figure out what goes on. Okay, so we're going to be working on the neurographic of relationship, and the idea is to work through I'm getting distracted with this whole thing. I don't know why. I'm going to try to switch between screens. I'm afraid I'm going to close the whole thing if I'm going to change. Can you see like this? You okay? So I just switched to the full screen mode. Should be fine. All right, guys, let me continue because otherwise we will never finish today's class. If anybody have a problem right now in the recording, everything is going to be available in the recording, and you should be able to see in the recorded option. I apologize. It's not my issue. Something is going on. I don't know in the settings or things like that, but please let's continue. Okay, so let's work on the neurographic of relationship. So the first thing first, I'd like to, okay, yeah, I don't know, Claudia, something with your screen, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. So let's work on the relationship. In my previous class in the Russian group, I was working on my relationship with my son. So I'd like to do something different. I'd like to work on my relationship with my husband. And you can work on the relationship of anyone else that you have an idea, like maybe with your boss, or maybe you want to work with on relationship with your neighbors, or even if you want to work on relationship with yourself, you still can do it. You still can work on relationship with, let's say if you have you want to improve your self-esteem, or you need some qualities in life that you would like to incorporate. That can be done as well with this algorithm. So what I'm going to be doing, and as all instructors, we're always working on our own example. We're working using our life situation, and that makes it genuine. Otherwise, you know, I cannot just bring something from the air and start doing and working. It's not going to be natural. So we always work on something that has a high priority to us. And using example, we are showing the algorithm. Take notes, if you wish, around the algorithm. What's first, what's next? Because in the Russian group, my students told me that, do you have the outline of the algorithm? We usually don't do this. Pavel doesn't do it. No one from whoever I've ever learned, no one is doing it. Nobody's outlining. So the idea is that you keep a notebook next to you and actually taking notes and putting for yourself how the algorithm flows, okay? And you're gonna have the recording, so you should be able to repeat this whole lesson, document the algorithm, and keep it for yourself in a separate notebook. Okay, that's my suggestion. So using your idea, like always, number one is to define what are we working on today, right? What relationship is the most important? I suggest just choose something that, what is the most important to you for this particular class? Something that has a high emotional charge, maybe something where you're really thinking over and over again to improve the relationship. So this is something that I would suggest you to work on, because that would have the most emotional charge that you can get the best results from. I'm trying to add lights. Sorry. So define what you're working on. I'm working on my relationship with my husband. Let me just take a sip of water. And let's start, right? So usually what we do, we can use our hand and define where we want to place ourselves. I don't know, today's settings just not really very user-friendly. Let me just do something like that. I've unchecked mirror effect, so we could see the real drawing board, not the mirror effect. So I'm gonna just go over paper and just see where would I place myself here, right? Usually we start with our own image. And I'm gonna draw myself as a circle. You see what I'm doing? I'm basically trying to get the circle to the perfect shape, right? So it looks really more like a circle than an oval, right? It will never be perfect because we're not using compass for drawing circles, but the idea is to bring it as close to a good shape as possible, okay? And what else I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put neurographic line all over the figure. Why am I doing it? I need to activate, right? I need to activate an object, make it live, show some movement, that it's not just a static object, right? It's me. I'm in a constant change like everything else in the universe. And that's what I'm emphasizing by this, all right? And I can put my name here, Margarita. Okay, that's me. So the next object I want to draw, my husband. So the reason why I've chosen circle is because I believe the circle here is the most appropriate figure when we're defining people as ourselves and people that we want to improve relationship with, because the circle is the holistic figure and any other figure can fit into this. So I'm going to draw my husband somewhere. Like usually what we do, we just go over the paper and just feel where exactly I want to place the second object. And right here. I like it. Not so big, you know. Although my husband takes a lot of space in my heart. I'm glad that he's not much bigger than me. You know, because sometimes what I see is some women, the way they draw their spouses or boyfriends or their partners, they take bigger space than themselves, much bigger on the paper. And this is something, this is how we can diagnose, right? When we're drawing, let's say, our partner, and here's us, and then we see the partner is that big, right? Significantly big. This is something that we would need to think about and identify why is that so? Why do we think that our partner is bigger than us, right? And we can always change. We can always change the size of objects in Neurographica. So I'm going to put husband here. Okay. Um, uh, as I said, we can always change the size of the objects in Neurographica. We cannot make it smaller in this situation, but we can always increase, right? That if I would like to be about the same size, I would just add some extra neural line that goes over, just kind of like enlarge myself in comparison with my husband. All right, sounds great. It's not so bad. I mean, we're not really crossing, you know, sometimes when people draw, and you also pay attention to things like that. Let's say you work in a relationship with your kids. Let's say you identify yourself, then you draw your son or your daughter, and then you see, are you guys crossing? How far are you guys from each other, right? All of this will give you some hints and ideas on where are you right now, right? You see, we're not crossing, so we're not really glued together. We're close, but we're not crossing. And do I want us to be crossing? I don't know. My idea is for improvement of relationship is maybe better understand each other, right? Better understand each other needs, right? We are building a retreat center right now in upstate New York. So my husband travels a lot there, and he stays there sometimes for several days. And I'm home myself, and I'm also learning something new to apply in life. So we kind of are busy with our responsibilities right now, and we don't see each other much. In one way, it's beautiful because it gives each other space to be on our own and do things we love and need to do also. Share responsibilities. Everyone shares in the family their own responsibilities. But another way, also we're missing each other, and kind of like when we are apart, we think about each other and we call each other, but still, you know, the distance creates some sort of void, right? And I really don't want this void to be deepened. Void is fine when both are happy with that. And I'm happy with this right now, but I just want to make sure it doesn't go, the void doesn't increase, right? So, all right. So for that, what do I need to do? Both of us need resources in order to get closer, in order to maybe close some gaps that show up, right, in the relationship. So what I would like to do, I would like to add some resources for myself. What do I need to do in order to get closer to my husband? Okay. And the first thing, you know, we really need to listen our inner voice. Whatever pops up first, probably the most appropriate word that comes out. Why? Because we don't contemplate, we don't spend too much thinking, or maybe this is the right one, or maybe this one is wrong one. What we do, we basically, we ask the question and we've got an answer. So if you're getting an answer right away, probably that's what you need to add here. So the first thing what came to me is patience. I'd like to add patience. I'm not really patient sometimes with him. And I know that. And he doesn't like it because he is much more patient than me, right? And I know I need to increase my patience. Sometimes I can be like a fire, like, shh, right? And, you know, in relationship, it's not a good thing. You would agree. Like, I've got women right now with me, and you guys know when girls are going like on fire, men, they really feel helpless. So we really need to be careful, right? And I sometimes really go on fire. Although I believe there is a reason for this, doesn't matter, right? So if I want to close gaps, that's what I need to do. I need to increase my patience, and that's what I'm gonna put here. Patience. We always add description of every object that we add. Why? Because we're encoding it in the universe. Basically, when we writing something next to our object, then we're like programming the future. Basically, it's not enough just to put an object. It's good to really name it. Then it works really, really well. All right, so I need patience. Okay, it's number one. What else I need to do? Maybe what I need to do to tune up to his needs, whatever he needs from me, my help, my energy. So I need to add up. So maybe female energy, not just being a soldier, right? And you know, here in States, I don't know how it is in Europe, Claudia, but in States, we like sometimes we're losing our identity. Men, women, we all kind of like working very hard, all of us, and sometimes, you know, the sense of female energy, the flow, right? So I have to increase female energy is getting lost somewhere because we're always busy. We become like marching soldiers. Yeah, even in Europe, Claudia is writing. Yes, I agree. It's everywhere now, you know, and I can hear that because we need to provide. Plus, we need to raise children. For women, it's twice harder, I believe, to keep the female energy alive, our beauty, right? The way we are, the way we take care of ourselves, because we need to feed it somehow in our daily life. And daily life is about making money, you know, making sure everyone is fed, right? That the house is clean, taking care of so many things, and yet stay beautiful and pay enough attention, right, to our body, to our needs, and so forth. So what I think, you know, I feel like it's a little bit missing here because I'm really focused right now on the business that I'm building, and he's focused right now on his duties around retreat center, buying stuff for retreat center, building stuff, and we kind of like, it brings us a little bit away from each other, right? The responsibilities. So, all right, so what I said, patience, female energy. So what else I need to improve our closeness, right? So we are much closer than we appear right now. That's a tough one, but what I need to do, I need to hear him more when he speaks. Because sometimes he starts speaking, I'm like, okay, I don't have time, or, you know, later, we're going to talk later. He starts speaking and I'm like, okay, look, let's go first get this in the store. The when we come back, we can talk about it, right? So maybe, how would I call it, right? How would I call it? To get attuned, right? To hear him, to give him my time, to hear what he is talking about, right? Open my ears towards him, right? So I would say, listen to him, right? That would be, I guess, the easiest way to say. And I want to also, I'm going to put a little bit of neurographic line around and here as well to activate all of these resources. They're going to help me out to get closer and show him how much I love him, because we love each other. I know that. Love is there. It's important. And you should be working on your own situation. I don't know if you're working on your relationship with your boss or you're working on the relationship with your kids. It all depends, right? It all depends who you're working. But the algorithm stays the same. So you need to identify who you're working with, or you can even work on yourself. Me and my business, for example, that's you. And here would be your business. Then you need resources to improve the cash flow. Maybe you want to make your business robust, right? You would need to add resources around that. Or if you're working, let's say, improving relationship with your neighbor, you and your neighbor, then add resources for yourself in order to improve this relationship. So what is resources here? Something that we're missing right now. We're adding those components that are missing. But we can also add here as like as a resource, what else it could be? It could be support of children, right? And I'm going to add it. We have 2 children, so I can add support of children. So, because sometimes children, they're getting selfish, and they already not small children. Our daughter is in her 20s, and my son, and the daughter is on my husband's side, right? She's my stepdaughter. She's already 20, and she's going to be 21 in July. And my son is 19. So the kids are already kind of like young adults. So, but sometimes they draw energy and attention unnecessary. They just need some extra attention. But it's not a bad thing. But it's just they need to understand and be supportive to us, to our needs, and also kind of understand when we need to be together, when we're going together, we're not taking them, right? Kids support. And that could apply to both of us, actually. All right. So I worked on the components that I think that we need. I need mostly from my side in order to improve the connection with my husband. Now let's look at my husband, right? Again, it's from my perspective. He may not think that that's what it is, but from my perspective, because I work on myself, right? I work on myself, and his opinion here is not as important as my feeling, right? And my thoughts and my body reactions to what he does. And sometimes he's been tough. Like he makes some decisions and he's like, I decided so, right? He's been too much. Like sometimes he's pushing for things. Like we have to get it. Let's do it. And sometimes it throws me like completely. I'm like, no, I'm not ready to get this. Or why are you pushing for this? Why are you pushing for this decision? So what I think what he needs to do to as a resource, I'm going to add that he needs to chill. He needs to really kind of relax and listen to me as well, understand my needs, understand when I disagree, not to push so hard, right? And I'm activating this resource. So how would I name it? Probably I would name it, really that word chill, I would just say chill, because it applies to a lot of things. Like he's been tough. He's got a lot of male energy, and he's very masculine. And his decision-making process is very masculine sometimes, not always, but in some cases that really, really bothers me. Then he's trying to enforce his decision on me. All right, so he has to chill. What else? He needs to be more like romantic. I don't think he's really very romantic, although he's got appreciation for the beauty. He likes nice things, right? Like some men, like they don't care what to wear. They don't care how things are in the house. Like he really cares. Like he's a good gardener, and he appreciates beautiful objects and so forth. But he's not that romantic. Like I want more romance coming from him. Like coming one day, maybe bringing some flowers to me, or like doing some surprise things to me. But he's not built like he loves me, but he's missing that component. So I would say romantic, right? Romance. So that's what I really want him to be more, because it would give me more. I think if he is going to be more romantic, it's going to increase my female energy, and I would be able to give him more. That's my belief. So that's what I wish for him. What else is there? Not to be very critical. Sometimes he's very critical. Like I'm that kind of person. I may criticize, but in a very soft way. But he may be very critical sometimes. And it bothers me as well. Sometimes when he gets very critical, then I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm trying not to react. We've been together for, how long we've been together? For 5 years, actually. Um, and it's been beautiful. We have a wonderful relationship. It's just certain components I'd like to increase, right? I'd like to make our sex life better. I'd like to make our relationship better. I'd like us to be more attuned to each other. I think it's going to bring more understanding and more peace to both of us. And I always like to add something that comes from the spirit, comes from the universe. I'm going to add, I don't know, I call it God. Somebody may disagree with this concept because it all depends on your believing system, right? But I believe in a higher power that somewhere out there, or maybe everywhere, right? Like some people believe in the quantum reality, everything is connected through the holographic universe. So if the idea of universe is closer to you than God, it's fine. It doesn't matter how you label it, because nobody really knows what it is. Anyway, we can only guess, we can label it, we can, do whatever we want. But in reality, it is what it is, okay? So, all right, I think I've added, I may come up with something else. You know what I'm missing here, really? When we're working on anything in Neurographica, right? What I believe we should really listen to our inner voice. Sometimes we're not listening. I noticed that. Not only me, but people who I'm teaching, they're like, oh, okay, the thought came, and they totally disregard the thought. And then later they, oh God, I was thinking about it. Why didn't I add it to my drawing? And then they need to do a case, right? They need to repeat the drawing for the same idea, but then they already thinking more when they're doing it second time around. So I don't want to do second time around. I want to finish everything at once. You see what I'm missing here is some figure, some stabilization point where I could say, I guess we just need to stabilize, right? Because right now, because of what's going on in our lives, we kind of drifted apart a little bit. He's doing his stuff, I'm doing my stuff. We see each other, we're happy to see each other. We share food, we go to a restaurant, we see friends, then we're getting apart. I guess what we need to do, stabilization. And I'm going to add a square. You know that in Neurographic, a square is stability, right? Something, support. And I guess that's what we need. We need some sort of stability, because everything right now seems like it is really floating. And for you, same thing. If you really want stability in relationships, sometimes you're working on improvements, but you don't really fix the improvements with stability. And square is a wonderful figure. We can also draw a neurographic line around the object, right? Just like that, to activate it. But I think stability would do what it needs to do. It's good. But I also want to increase love. So stability is not enough for me. Stability came first, and I'm like, okay, if stability came to my mind, I have to put it on the paper. But then when I finished drawing a square, the second thought was, what about love? Yeah, stability is beautiful, but you want to preserve that fresh feeling for your partner. You really want to. Otherwise, then why? Why would you be together? So what I want to do, I want to just increase love. I'm adding love between us, stability and love. When we love each other, we can always overcome anything, any challenges that life presents. Okay? And that's what I'm adding. Right away, I feel so expanded. So please remember, in Neurographica, we're working on 3 levels. Emotional level, mental level, thoughts, right? And also body reactions. So we're really watching when we're drawing slow. It is almost meditative process. We go step by step. We're walking like a cat, slow, because we really want to catch what we need to catch. We need to be able to listen to our inner voice, what it tells us, right? So please do not rush. When you're going to be drawing, step careful and listen to yourself, what your inner voice tells you, right? And now, since I added the figure, I need to really round the crossings, right? And right away, I'm like, oh, that was the right thing. And I'm going to put love, okay? Love on all levels, the sexual level, on the human level, on the partnership level. If we have love, we can get to stability. but together, stability and love, it's a powerhouse, right? That's where we're all connected, interconnected, and it feels like right away I feel empowered. That's how you should feel. Like if you're adding stability, you're adding major components, your body should react. Your body should be like, joy in your heart, on your throat, anywhere in your body, right? You really need to feel that feedback. And also on your thought level, yay, yay, happiness right away. Yes, that's what I want. I want stability and love, right? And on the mental level, what happens on the mental? That's exactly what I want, right? That's exactly what I want. So at the end, that's what I want, actually, right? I've added resources, but they became my final result. I love it. I love it. So now, what do I need to do now? I need to start drawing neurographic lines. We know that the quality, and let's start. I'm going to just start to connect all the components here because I really want to do one line that goes throughout the whole drawing, right? And we know that the quality of neurographic drawing is defined by the quantity of neurographic lines. The more lines you have, the better quality of your work is. And it's amazing, right? Because we could question it. We could say, why? Why is that so? Why do I need to draw a lot of lines? But it is proven. It is proven. I know when my students, when they start drawing, right, they they draw as many lines as I just did, and they would say, oh my God, I have too many roundings that I need to do. It's just too many lines. It's just the beginning, right? And when my students, when they get more experienced after a couple of months, they understand the value of the quantity of neurographic lines. They say, oh, okay, sometimes of them reporting, I have not put enough lines. I realize that. They realize themselves why things do not work for them. Then they correct the drawing, they add up lines, and everything works. Everything, everything starts working. And you know what, if you work on some romantic relationship, or you work on something where you really feel like you need to increase the flow, increase the feeling of love, for example, here, you know what I do, I just draw heart. In this case, if I work on the love life, I don't care. I'll just incorporate neuro art element, right? And that would help me. When I see heart, what is my reaction? Love, love, right? Uh, Sometimes people, that saying when somebody's asking a question, yes, I do love, but it doesn't resolve my problem. There is a solution. Increase the dosage, right? So if I really want to increase the dosage and connect both of us, why wouldn't I add neuro art element? And I encourage you to do the same thing. If this is something that works for you, you could do that. If you don't want to do it, it's totally up to you, because you're working on your own solution. And whatever works for one person doesn't work for another. I know people who don't like adding some tangible objects like heart or flower or something like that. They're saying, I like to stick with um, just with the lines and the figures, and it's totally fine. I'm giving you options, and you can select whatever you'd like to do. I'm going to round a little bit just to get in the flow and start feeling how things are. Do I get what I really want to get out of this drawing? I think so. I feel much better already, I feel we can do it. The time is a little bit tough right now, but it's because some changes that happened on my work site. With the retreat center we started building, we waited whole winter season to start it, right? Because it's very cold in upstate New York. So, and now we started buying stuff and doing some things and building, and you can imagine, right? So, but I feel good about it. Now I feel good. I've added all the components I ever needed to close that gap. And then I could say, yes, I worked on that and it worked very well. How else can I say? If you do your drawing and you feel like Something else is still missing. I don't feel at peace. My boss still, I'm really angry at my boss. I still don't accept my kid position in some, I don't know, in some ideas that he or she may not be totally in tune with you. So you think about it and think about what else can you add? Add resources. Add resources to both of you. Add resources to yourself, right? Add neuro art if needed. Some people like to add rings. I've seen people adding angels to help them out. You know what? I think whatever works for you is fine. Is fine. I'm not giving you some strict algorithm from the school, right? I'm giving you something creative, something that I tested on myself. I know it works well. It works when we're putting all three components that we sometimes forget. And I believe that's the most important thing that we need to learn to engage our thought process, mental process, right? Our body reactions and our emotions that arise. And if your inner voice tells you, add this, add it. Don't skip it. Don't say, oh, no, no, your voice probably telling me the wrong thing. Nothing is wrong. The first thing that comes to your head is the right thing. And that needs to be put on a drawing because we really want to make sure that we're getting resolved. And if we're not getting from the first time, we do it several times before we get it, right? So I've run a little bit. It makes me feel good. I really like it. I would need to continue, right? We're not going to be finishing in 1 hour, but at least I want to finish the drawing and talk about what's left to do. So here I've got this godly figure. I really want to get God's blessing for everything what I do, and I'm asking Almighty, I'm asking the universe, I'm asking that conscious being, right, that all of us interconnected through. I'm really asking for a blessing. And the way I'm asking for the blessing, I'm going to add more lines coming from that being to us, right? Shining upon us with its almighty power, right? It really gives me peace of mind. I don't know, some people don't do it and it's fine. There is no judgment here. Some people don't believe in that mighty power. They believe in physics. They believe in quantum world. Doesn't matter. Label however you want. I'm going to label God. That's what I believe in. God, right? And you can label anyhow you want. And I really want to feel blessing coming from that being. Really. It's important for me. And also, I'd like to do some neural lines coming from my husband to me, right? So it's not only neural lines that are coming from me to him, yeah, through the God to the infinity. That's how, we're working. And it's a little bit of complex work if you think about it, right? I could do something more simple. I could add just me and my husband, not adding resources, not adding some additional components to seal the relationship, not adding higher powers. But I choose to do this work from all perspectives. If I need to improve my relationship, I need resources from both sides. How else can we improve, right? I need some image that reinforces that. And here is the heart within the square, within the love circle. I mean, for me, it sounds pretty powerful. And let me just do a little bit of rounding. I encourage you to do 2. What does it do, right? It opens up some subconscious process where we may get some messages saying that, oh, you forgot this, or you forgot that. Did you include this? And, right now I'm speaking. That's why I'm not really attuned to my inner voice. But for you, you may start feeling that, oh, you know what? In order for me to really resolve this, I have to add that. And you can add any object at any time in this game, as long as you get resolved. If you're not getting right away, if you're not feeling at ease when you work on this, or at least 50% easier, right? Then it means that something is still missing. You really need to look deep inside and to see what's missing here in this drawing that can actually bring back joy and happiness. So what I will encourage you to really, while you're rounding, and I'll give you like 20 seconds, I'm going to close my mouth so we could round a little bit and then come back. It's interesting what happens sometimes. Like I start to hear a song or something that we play in the car together. Like right now, the song came to my head. BB King. He loves BB King, and when we travel to upstate, we listen BB King a lot. I like it too. I mean, I'm not so crazy about songs, but he likes it a lot. So all of the sudden, the music started playing in my head. So synesthetically, apparently my body and my mind, they both tell me that I'm on the right path. I'm getting better attuned to him, maybe less frustrated with certain things that he's doing. It's a good sign. So you watch for the things like that. You may start feeling like, some people start feeling smell. Like I had a lady who worked on her relationship with her mother. So while she was rounding, she told me, oh my God, I really literally feel the smell of an apple pie that my mother used to bake. Yeah, all these memories are stored in our subconscious mind. And when we're really working on this, on creating new neural connections through the neural lines, then lots of things like this synesthetically show up. And it's a good sign that we're really working through limitations that we currently have in our relationships. So I know, it's a little bit complex. And some people tell me like it's too much, and it can be broken into several classes. But I think my students are pretty advanced. People who come to my classes, I believe so. This class definitely is not for the beginners. It's an advanced class. And again, this advanced algorithm can be separated in several smaller ones. When you don't need to add resources, you could just do your work through neural lines. You add more neural lines. That's fine, right? You could do whatever you want. I'm giving you really method that works very well. And I never give anything that I haven't tried on myself and my students, my life classes, right? People reported a lot of good things about this algorithm. So that is why, like, once I try it, I feel like, oh, it's time to bring it up and share it with the world. You see that? I hope you drone with me and you get into the point where you start to feel like you're at peace. You're really feeling like you're getting some insights. You're getting things where and how you can improve from both sides, right? And when we draw the other side, like with us, it's one story. But with the other side, working through ourselves, we can change the world, right? That's what it says. Neurographica is very good at this. So by working on the other side, I'm also helping our relationship to move to the direction of closeness. And it's not the reinforcement. It's not like I'm trying to change him, right? I'm just trying through the work that I'm doing, mostly working on myself here. I'm not working on him. Even though I'm using him and aiding resources, still I work on myself, right? It's just an invisible hand that's going to that's going to do that magic change. But there is no magic. We know that the world is a reflection of our neural connection. When we change the neural connection, we're changing the world. And, once we get a concept, recently it just hit me, something that I'd like to share. I've been always working for a boss and never worked on myself. Like I never had like a real business, always like some hobbies. Like even Neurographica is not my business. It's more like a hobby that I share. Making some money with that, but mostly I like to share free stuff as well. But what it hit me I've done a lot of work on working on myself from the business perspective, that maybe it's enough to work on the boss. It's enough. I was laid off in March. Some of you know, because the company is falling apart. They're laying off people left and right. That's been going on for several years. And now, uh, when I'm free, right, I'm kind of thinking about, oh my God, why didn't I ever thought about building my own business? And right now it's just, it hit me, and I understood when I started working towards that, that really everything what goes on right now surfaces because I'm changing my neural connections. I'm doing a lot of drawings. I'm empowering myself with resources, me and my business, right? That's a wonderful way to empower. Resources that you need to get empowered, to get closer and build successful business. That's a beautiful algorithm. Plus, get God's blessing for that. Isn't that beautiful? And by that, what I'm saying, that it doesn't have to be relationship with people, relationship with objects, relationship with your ideas, your fresh, something fresh that just came out recently. You can work it through. And then when you're going to change your neural connections, you're going to change the world around you, right? And to use whatever is necessary. Stress reduction through algorithm of removing inner limitation really, really works very well together with hypnosis. Like sometimes I'm using binaural hypnosis online. There are some free ones on YouTube that I'm using. You know, basically the idea is to use anything possible to change your neural connections and change the world around yourself. That's the best way of looking at that. And that's what all these algorithms are doing. They're basically changing the world around us. I feel fantastic about it, right? So let me just increase that love thing. So what, in order for this to be a finished work, I would need to color it, and I suggest you to color it. And I'm going to share it with you in the group Neurographica Americas English. Here I have components that need to be colored. And what I'd like to do, I'd like to color each of the component in its own color, or maybe I'll combine a couple of components to make them one color, and then to do another layer for the God's blessing. Like what I do, like I color everything, and then on top of this, I'd like to cover it with the God's blessing. So if you share my belief system, then you could color it the same way. Then once you finish coloring, what you would need to do, you would need to do field lines. You know, the field lines are made with the thick marker. They go across the whole drawing. They can cross, right? You need to round them a little bit. Not the whole thing needs to be rounded when you draw them. And then at the end, if you see something that really catches your eye, you could do fixation, right? At the very end, if something comes out, then you could definitely fixate, and then your work is going to be done. So basically, that's all what it is that I want to share. I'm going to finish the drawing. For whoever watches in both languages, Russian and English, you will see two drawings. I mean, even though English-speaking folks can see the drawing, but it's just in read and translation, right? The output, because Google is beautiful, Chrome is beautiful with that. If you want to see something, you can always translate what's written and just see what it is. So, but let me switch back to you, and you prepare your questions. We still have 5 minutes, so I can answer your questions, and we close the session. Hi guys, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna unmute you. Okay, if you want to unmute yourself, please, you're welcome. And please ask me questions, anything. Feedback is appreciated as well, how you felt. Anyone wants to say something or write something, it's fine. All right, so, Oh, yes, Claudia.
No.
For some reason, the sound doesn't go through. Oh, thank you. I hear you. Yeah, something is not really working today with technology. The sound is not really clear. But I see, oh, okay, you didn't work. That's fine. That's fine, Claudia. That's fine. You can watch in recording. That should be okay. We have an echo here from Claudia's side, something with the technology in Austria, I don't know. Alona, thank you so much for your feedback. Appreciate it. Please share your drawings and your NeuroTrack. Oh, awesome, Claudia. I'm glad you've been drawing along. Awesome. So you've done a great job with that. And I'll see you in my classes. I see you at our classes. We're going to have a summer semester. Right now, we're preparing our summer semester. It's going to be exciting. So please just continue being part of our community. Post your work, and we appreciate that you're coming and sharing with us the joy of Neurographica. Have a fantastic day and night, whoever is having what, and I'll see you at the classes. Thanks so much. And share your work, please. God bless. Thank you so much.